into side control 2. So let's have your face towards, or your head towards the camera again. All right, so side control 2. This is gonna be the most common side control that people play from. Number 2, because often you transition to it from side control 1. Side control 1 you go to first, settle into that position, then go to side control 2. Side control 2 itself, this low thigh slash top of my knee is gonna go to his armpit. This one is gonna go into his hip here. If you're real long-legged, it might go behind the guy's leg, like under his butt cheek a little bit. That's fine, as long as you're close on the guy. You're not leaving a lot of space there. That's just gonna depend on your leg length. For me, it's gonna be closer to the guy's hip right here. From there, this hand is gonna be under his head until my bicep or shoulder is pushing his face away. It's called cross face right there. And this hand is gonna come get an underhook underneath this arm. And this underhook, I like to take a grip on the guy's shoulder, cuff his shoulder right here. So from here, this shoulder is pushing Dan's face away from me. So he tries to drive into me with his face, he's just driving into a wall there. This underhook right here is stopping him from rolling in that direction. I got him stuck right there. If he tries to move his upper body towards me, I got my hip right there. If he tries to move his lower body towards me, I have my hip right here. And if he tries to walk his hips away, which are free to walk away, I can just follow him from this position right here. So that's the reason why this is the most commonly played side control, because you have really strong 3-directional control over the person. And because of that, you know that if the person's just moving in a direction, they're probably gonna be walking away from you with their legs. It's pretty easy to, if you know what you're doing, counter what they're doing if you know there's one direction they're gonna move. Beyond that, they might shrimp, they might bridge, they might do stuff like that, but that's not like as technical as trying to move away from somebody and set up your escape. So very, very strong pinning position, right? In wrestling, this is a very common pinning position for win matches. There's not a win from a pin in jiu-jitsu, so you have to pin the person a little bit longer in order to control them and transition to a position you want to submit from or to submit the person. However, it's just an extraordinarily strong pinning position still. So the way that we end up here is gonna be from side control 1 a lot of the time, right? So as we finish our pass, I'll just be in like the finish of the single under, right? Boom, we're finishing our single under here. My arms across Dan's head. As I fall here, I'm in side control 1, right? So from side control 1 right here, as I'm blocking his hip and blocking his head, especially if Dan has his leg up, sort of defending me from moving him out, right? If I try to get him out here, he's obviously getting his legs ready to try to catch me back in guard. What I do from here is just switch my legs back here, so this leg will come back, this leg will come forward, this arm will come over. And from here, I have my knee in the armpit, my knee in the hip. This arm is pretty ready to go to the underhook. All I have to do from here is adjust this arm under his head, swim this arm to the underhook. From this position right here, hand can be flat on the mat, cupping the shoulder, or it can be cupping, or it can be cupping. From this position right here, I'm gonna keep my chest over his chest, sort of straight down in a pinning position, and pull his shoulder in at the same time, right? If I really just wanna lock him down, get this shoulder in, get my head down, and he's just like a super, super pinned position right here. I can even get up from my toes, get it even more of a pinned position, right? So eventually you'll have to go for some submissions, or you have to try to take the back, or try to take mount if that's where you prefer to submit from. But this position is super, super strong control position. It's the most commonly played side control. Number 1, most common first position to go to. Number 2, the most commonly played position. If you drive the guy forward, you can take the back. If the guy lays flat and his legs are not super active, you can take mount, and you can hit a whole slew of submissions, Americanas, corner, straight arm locks, turn to north-south for your north-south chokes. Pretty simple position to learn. You just gotta practice it, stay tight on the guy. Very, very strong position. Let's turn this direction so that you can see it from a different angle. So from right here, again, top of this knee, bottom of the thigh goes with the armpit. The other one, for majority of people, it's gonna go on the hip. For some real tall people, it's gonna go below the butt cheek. Obviously for me, that's like a very strange position right here, like doing the splits. So I'll put mine in the hip. From right here, this arm goes around the head. This arm takes an underhook under this arm, either flat on the mat. This one more cupping. This one's gonna be cupping, so it's gonna be mat cup, 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 cup. However you're gonna do it. From right there, make sure this head has some pressure on it. Make sure you're pulling in, chest to chest. If you're really looking to pin the guy and make him uncomfortable, get up on your toes, just like an inch to drive more pressure into the guy's chest. And it's basically just the ultimate control position from side control. So side control 1 first, switch those hips. Side control 2, that's where you're really gonna rest the guy from.